I think we're in good shape. All right, so let me dim the lights here, and we're going to go to weather and just bring the sun down and check it out. So we are in good shape. I'm going to show you the camera view that I'm going after. It's going to be from across the street, and we're going to, something along these lines, except I'm going to get my focal length to be much tighter on that building. All right. So we are definitely lacking on this scene. The lighting, while it's super cool that the trees are lit up, and I like that look, we are definitely missing a lot of lights in the building. It's a pretty bland scene, right? So we need to get some node placement going. And I'm going to set up my camera right now. I think that's a good practice, is to just, get your camera where it should be, so that way you're really focused on only working on what you can see. All right, so for this particular focal length, I would set this to be, I'm going to try like 45, and usually higher is better, or higher is definitely better for exterior renderings. And if you're interior, you might start with like 25. All right, so something like this. Let me back out just a little bit. I want to catch like, the train coming into focus here, and I want the shrubs. You can see that these shrubs right here, I placed those because I want it to like soften that street. I don't just want like this giant asphalt intersection. I thought it was kind of nice just to pad that a little bit. All right, so I'm going to take a snapshot here. All right, so I can tell you that the parking garage needs some light, the stair tower needs some light, this building just needs some light in it. All right, we're definitely lacking there, and I suppose we could consider doing some uplighting on the trees, but we'll see if we get there. All right, so we're gonna hop back into build mode. I'm gonna split my screens again. You can see that my live sync is still kicking. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to go through Sketchup, and I'm going to place all of my light nodes. All right. So just like we did before, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to bring up my my dialogues, and we're going to use our, let's just do this. We'll go to search the 3D warehouse and do Lumion Nodes. You can always get to our collection by doing Lumion Nodes, and here we have our node spotlight. And I'm going to drop this in, and I suppose I'll work in here first, like this. Drop it on the ceiling. I'm going to use my rotate tool, and let's see. We'll go. Where's my? Here's my insertion point. So with my rotate tool, I'm going to click and drag, and then rotate this guy down by 90, like that. All right, and then while we're working here, I'm going to just hide my windows and get those out of the way. That's going to allow me to kind of bounce in and out of here rather quickly. So I just double clicked into that group here. So my windows live one level in, and I'm going to right click on these and choose hide, and that gets rid of those windows. When I back out here, now that's where my node lives. All right, so then like for this node placement, I'm just going to eyeball this. And if you had like a ceiling grid that you really wanted to be perfect with, you can do that. But for this particular project, it was just more important that we had some sort of a grid going on. And I'll do like 4 divisions. And then I'm going to make a copy of all these guys. And I'm going to use this edge right here. And so I'm going to make a copy of them, down the line like that. And then I'm going to say like 5 times enter. So I just made kind of a nice long grid there. All right, and then what I found is that it's pretty handy to like take all these nodes and make them a group. So if they're a group, it makes it much easier for me to isolate them and work on them. All right, and then you can always go to View, Component, Edit, Hide Rest of Model. You can see that I have a keyboard shortcut, Control H. I use that all the time. All right, so that's in good shape. I'm just going to take all these lights here. I'm going to make a copy of them straight down. I'm going to use my scale tool and scale it to -1. This way I have lights shining down and I have lights shining up. And then I'm going to select all, and I'll make a copy of all these lights, and I'm going to tap the up arrow key. snap to my ceiling, and we're going to do that 3 times, enter. And now we have lights all the way distributed throughout this building. So that's pretty handy, right? And the next thing we need to do is add some lights to our stair tower. So I might just, grab this one and place it over here. Now for this stair tower, this is pretty visible. So I'm going to be a little bit more accurate when I'm doing this. So I'm going to make a copy of this guy all the way to the end and type 5 divided by enter. And then I'm going to delete out the pieces that I don't want. So I might just keep these 2. And then I'm going to take these guys and I'm going to make a copy from here all the way over on the green and say 5 divided by enter. And I'm just going to keep the 4 in the middle, that looks fine like that. So those will be my lights in Lumion. And those guys I'm going to leave alone, but these I might just take and make a copy straight down like that. All right, so we're in good shape there. And then I'm going to take, let's take these 2. This is kind of a cool trick. This is like an advanced inference, all right? So if I were to just try to make a copy of this down here, I would have to do just like eyeball it. And I never eyeball in SketchUp. It's perfect. It's got to be snapped to a point. So what I'm going to do is a super advanced inference that's going to save me a ton of clicks. I'm going to hover on this edge. And if I hold shift, you can see that now that base point is constrained. And if I put my cursor on that surface, it's like lining up that base point. It's snapping there. And so now I'll click. Now that starts my move. And so it's starting from like a known base point. And if I just snap down here to my midpoint, that was like a super accurate, precise move and copy. Next, I'm going to use, we're just going to do like a copy here. Make sure I've only selected those. And I'll tap Control, tap the up arrow key, snap to there, and we're going to do that one 3 times as well. All right, so I think we're in good shape. So we have all of our lighting in our stair tower, and let's just do like a simple, quick lighting over here. I'll make a copy of this guy straight across like that. Do 2 divided by enter, or 4 divided by enter, and we'll clear out some of these that we're not going to use. And then I'll scoot this down the hallway like this, and we'll go like, let's scoot this just back off that window a touch, and then make a copy of it like, say, 10 feet, and we'll do that like 5 times, enter. And then we're going to take all these guys. I'm not going to do the whole up and down thing. That was more important for this building. I think we're going to see more of this one. But we'll see how it looks. We'll do 3 times, enter. And now we have all of our lights there. So we're in pretty good shape. The last part, you can see, placing these nodes. It's good to be savvy with SketchUp and all those commands. But imagine trying to place all of these nodes, placing all of these lights accurately inside of Lumion. That would be a super difficult thing to do. And I got to be honest, it would not be accurate. It just wouldn't happen because there's nothing to snap to inside of Lumion. All right, so I'm going to copy that back, say 10 feet, 2 times, and then I'll make a copy of this guy like that. Select those, copy straight down, and do that 3 times. And actually, I'm going to only do that 2 times, enter. And the last part, let's just finish the thought. Placing these nodes does take a moment, but either way, you can see that it's super fast, way faster than doing this in Lumion. All right, last portion here, we're going to take this, make a copy. This part is definitely not the focus of the rendering, so I'm just going to kind of send that one down the way a bit and do 3 divided by enter. All right. And if I hide the rest of the model, look at all those lights. That's a ton of lights that we just copied and moved around rather quickly. All right. So all of these different lights are going to turn into Lumion spotlights. All right. So I think we're in good shape there. So let's just run through the process. I'm going to take this group, right click on it, and choose Make Component. And I'm going to set the component axes. And those component axes, of course, need to be at the origin point over here. And I'm going to call this component, what do we do? Nodes underscore lights 02. All right. So again, these are like throwaway files. They don't need to be, you could save them, but I typically don't. They're just throwaways. Now, see how those nodes show up in my Lumion model? Well, that's no good. In Sketchup, I need to delete them because those need to be their own light or their own model in Lumion. All right, I'm going to leave the lights turned down here, and I'm going to go back to Objects, and we're going to choose Import New Model from, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't save it out. So I'm going to undo that delete, and then I'm going to right-click on this and choose Save As. Our lights 02, it's already pathed to desktop temp, and I'm going to save it there. Now, I get back into Lumion. There's my nodes lights 02. I'm going to choose Open, bring that guy in, say OK, and look at all of those nodes. Oh, and shoot, I'm on a mass placement, so I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to go back to a single placement, and we're going to place one of those nodes. All right. Now, I pressed the M key. That brings me back to my select tool. I love these keyboard shortcuts that we've got now in Lumion. I'm going to click on Type In, and we are going to type in 0, 5, and 0. And now, all those nodes are now positioned and lined up perfectly. The node import is still selected, so I'll go to my advanced options. I'll click on Place Item on Nodes, go to my Lights and Utilities, and let's see the magic happen. A bunch of lights come in just like that. Absolutely amazing. So this is how you save time. This is how your dollars per hour increase when you're working on fixed fees. This is how you get out of the office early when you're working on renderings. So don't agonize. Learn the tricks. And you can do this stuff so fast. Lumion gives you all the tools you need to be super fast, make these beautiful images quickly, easily. All right. So I'm going to go with, it really doesn't matter. I like that lamp there, and I'll say OK. All right, so now I've got like plenty of light coming out of there. I think we're in good shape. I dig it. So let's split our screen for just a moment, and I'm going to go back into SketchUp. I'm going to unhide those windows. All right, so now we're like back to good, you know. And also you can see that my nodes still exist in here. So I need to delete the node file, and so all these guys, all those nodes, I'm going to delete them, and we're good. So now we've got like all of our setup here. And that's looking much better. You know, I want that, like, you know, where the light kind of spills out and the whole thing looks like it's glowing. So that is looking pretty good. Let's just take a quick look at our camera and see where we're at. All right, looking much better, right?